It turns out that not all emotions are welcome in Inside Out 2. Despite a huge array of stuff, feelings, and getting all of your inner workings out, including some emotions that, frankly, most folks don't even know what they mean. Oh, you say? There's one particular emotion that Pixar decided isn't appropriate for a movie today. Hello, folks. Welcome back. We are happy to have you. Come on in. Come on in. Well, you're already here, and we're happy that you're there. Folks, we've got a great video today because we're going to be talking about something that goes very deep. So get ready. We're going to talk about it. It is the fact that Pixar has now gone public with the fact that they decided to get rid of the emotion shame. Shame was not allowed to be an emotion that would exist in the mind of Riley in Inside Out 2. Anxiety? Yes. Shame? No. But why? Well, folks, we think we know why, and you are in for quite the video, quite the conversation. Let's get to it. Inside Out 2, returning to that topic, though, for just a moment, because there's something interesting going on with the film. This is something. Let's take a look. This is out of the wrap via Yahoo Entertainment. It's by Drew Taylor originally. Pixar's Inside Out 2 filmmakers reveal the movie's missing an emotion. And it's an emotion that matters for the modern day and the modern message. Here we go. Pixar's Inside Out 2 introduces a new collection of emotions to the mind of Riley, now a teenager experiencing a formative experience at hockey camp. There's anxiety, a jittery orange live wire, envy with big saucer eyes. And guys, how do I pronounce this French word again? Ennui?
Ennui.
Ennui, who can barely be bothered to show up. And embarrassment, a big purple softy hiding behind his hooded sweatshirt. They join the emotions you already know. We're not reading the rest of that paragraph. Moving on. There was one more emotion that used to be a part of Inside Out 2. Shame. Shame. But it's no longer in the movie. So where did this character go? To find out, the wrap went to Pixar, where we talked to the filmmakers about the making of Inside Out 2 and what became of that missing emoji. They go on to say basically that shame was just too depressing as opposed to sadness. They could not possibly put shame in the movie, even though they went so far as to get all the way through the story with shame involved. Listen to this. She was always part of it. She was a tough character to redeem. It was not fun to watch. It was not fun. It was too heavy. You know when you see a good movie and you're like, man, that was a great movie. You want to see it again? No, not really. There are movies like that. And they just go through this thing. Guys, I'm here to tell you, here's what I think's really going on. I don't think that they believe in the idea of shame any longer. So I think that's why shame had to go.
Shame.
Right. You're not supposed to feel shame, because shame is that which you feel when you do not feel fully authenticated, right? You're not fully validated. That's shame.
If it was going to get in, it wouldn't be a she, because she's are not the ones who should have shame. He's are. Right?
That's a good point. Would have had to been a boy emotion. Got to be a boy emotion. Panel, Lorena, what do you think about this idea that shame was a part of this and they had to kick it out because shame is not allowed in modern messaging?
I think it's such a... I can understand why they did it, because some people do not like to feel shame at all. And those are very uncomfortable feelings. And when you don't have to feel shame, you're not feeling any need to improve yourself or make amends or seek out redemption. Interesting point. There was shame in the first Inside Out when Riley was, defying her parents, and you saw that on her face, and you saw that in how the emotions kind of, even they were upset with, like, why is Riley doing this? And she felt that shame with what was going on, that Riley came, back home.
Well, Lorena, isn't shame just disgust aimed at yourself? Isn't that emotion already existing in this?
That is true. And that's why I don't understand, why are they pulling out these other emotions that we really don't freaking care about?
Well,
as opposed to use the emotions that are already there, but change their relationship to show how those emotions how, as you grow up, how you deal with those emotions and the
But
conflict between those.
but you have to remember that shame is acknowledging that you made a mistake and feeling bad
Exactly.
about it.
Yes.
Exactly. And we saw that
And
in the first
Disney,
movie.
if Disney's about anything at all these days, it's about you should be ashamed, not us. You should all be ashamed. You evil, awful white supremacist,
And you know what,
religious.
Patriarch
Luke?
supporting rubes and rednecks. Well,
Yeah.
Exactly. You all just actually reminded me of something. One of my favorite scenes in the Beauty and the Beast animated film was after Beast has this absolute rage because he was prone to do that. All the rages that he would do towards Belle in the beginning, and then he felt awful about himself. And he felt absolutely horrible about it. And you saw that.
well, this
I
is
think
this
it's
is
a
the
really
trophy.
good point because I mean, if we look at the process, and other people have kind of hinted at this here, but shame is the step that you have before redemption. You look at what you have done, you realize that you need to make a change, and then you move forward. Sometimes that shame is not founded, and maybe anxiety actually has a lot to do with that. But when that shame is well founded, it's a building block in order to improve yourself.
Okay,
And
here's a great question, Jonas. Not to interrupt you, I apologize. We've been doing that shtick. This one is unintentional.
oh yeah,
But
you're fine.
But shame, you're right, is that which leads to redemption. But I don't think that they believe in redemption. I think the current culture, as is constituted around Disney, doesn't believe that you should feel ashamed of things, that you therefore don't need to be redeemed of anything, and that you are perfect just the way you are, which I think is one of the most depressing thoughts you could have. Because then what in the world are you going to strive for tomorrow?
Well, it's
well,
the
right.
ultimate participation trophy, right? Just
Well,
because I'm
Mhm.
here, everybody, you get an A and you get an A and you get an A, and nobody has to feel shame for anything. Remember, when you go from shame to redemption, what's in between? Apology. An apology is admission of guilt. And that is what makes us grow. And it's what also makes it so we don't get ashamed again because we don't do the same thing again because we learned a lesson about it. That's the theory. If you think about it, anxiety is shame without apology or redemption. Is just, I know there's something wrong, but I don't know what it is, and I'm going to freak out about it.
Anxiety is what you feel when you go astray of the wokies, because the wokies don't believe in redemption. So once you're canceled, you're gone, you're out, you're into the abyss. With Bing Bong, you go. Jonas, continue your thought, please.
Well, no, you circle back around to it, and the only thing I will say here is, if you can't have shame, you cannot have redemption. And as far as what we've seen, this ideology, this dangerous ideology that seems to be centered on the west side of the country here, that is very prevalent here at the Walt Disney Company, is that there is no path to redemption in that ideology. You have to make some kind of public apology and allow the people who think that you are deserving of shame bring you back into the fold. They've often shown that they are not willing to do that. This is why we call it pseudo-religious, because most religions have some kind of path to redemption. This religion, it's all public perception.
Well,
here.
it's
So if you don't have shame, then you can't have redemption. And when they view someone as being shameful, they view them as basically not a human, as this other kind of person, like they're a 2D cutout of a person that is not a real thing that you legitimately have to deal with. They dehumanize the people that they do not agree with.
They've got a path to redemption, a struggle session with 75 people telling you you're no damn good. And even then,
well, obviously that didn't work in the case of the person.
You won't go, then you should be ashamed of that too. Shame on you. Bing, bang, boom, bop,
well, the
beep.
purpose of the struggle session is shame, but it still does not lead to redemption. It is just punishment. It's not redemption.
Well, wait. The real purpose of the redemption session, the struggle session, isn't about the person who's doing the struggling. It's about all the other people feeling solidarity with themselves and reaffirming their sense of superiority.
Right. It's allowing other people, like you've just said, to have their quote unquote righteous indignation here on behalf of the aggrieved, whether or not the aggrieved actually cares, which they often don't.
No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make this about a comment about the entire woke hierarchy here, but
I mean, why would
it
we not,
makes sense.
When the
It makes
opportunity to go deep is there, go.
I mean, if we,
Yeah.
I will make a fleeting reference here to the Bible here. Jeremiah 6:15, as they are ashamed of their detestable content. No, they have no shame at all, and they do not even know how to blush. When we look at this culture
Mhm.
right here, I'm not going to make
Blushing would
a
be weakness.
right, exactly. That is why when we say maybe you shouldn't be putting a drag queen into Disney Junior content, or we say maybe you shouldn't be putting a gender non-conforming, non-binary character into Louder and Prouder, that they go, what do you mean? What's the problem here? Because they have no shame. They have no principle of saying this is across the line when we're talking about children's content. They see any resistance to their ideology as problematic and dehumanizing, as opposed to maybe having some concept here that things are not appropriate. There is no shame in anything that they talk about, to the point where they got non-binary people sitting in darkened spaces with non-binary other people in the middle of shows that are aimed at children. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be vague here about scenes that are in Louder and Prouder. They've got things that are completely inappropriate for kids here in the name of their agenda that they see as righteous, as a righteous cause. No shame whatsoever.
Exactly. To kind of add to that, Jonas, the one person that they want to feel shame is they want you to be ashamed of pointing that out. They want you to be ashamed of pushing back and saying, we don't need you preaching, prejudice and bigotry and, bedroom issues to our children. And they're like, what? Why do you want it? Why are you so intolerant? They try to make you feel ashamed of that.
While they preach resegregating society, and
it's really a lot simpler, gang, and all of that's true. These people are absolutely terrified of being judged. It's why they don't believe in God or right and wrong, because if there's a right and wrong, they might be wrong. And they probably suspect they are deep down. And so we can't have that. How many times you're too judgmental. Yeah, right. I think Charlie Manson was a bad guy. That's terribly judgmental of me. Right. And by the way, did you see the meme of Charlie Manson in hell, and he's looking up and he says, "Yeah, OJ, but it's a dry heat. You'll get used to it."
Oh, I saw that.
Any system of morality has good and evil and right and wrong and redemption and punishment, and they cannot tolerate the idea of that, because that's too much like mom and dad who told them they were wrong, or teacher who told them they were wrong, or for God's sakes, a boss who says, "I know, but the pandemic is over. You actually have to come to work." What, are you kidding? I can't hang out with my buddies at Starbucks all day, and you're not going to pay me if I don't come to work? Oh, you evil, judgmental person. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I don't have to add to society. Society owes me.
Yeah,
Jonas, the audience says that you owe them.
And the ants, right?
That's right. Jonas, the audience says you owe them. Carlos Alfredo Lopez with this one. Jonas, any response?
Yes, we're working on it. We got to get a few things worked out. One thing that would really help in bringing everything woke back is
if days lasted 72 hours instead of 24
well,
hours.
Yeah, I mean, that comment about everybody being spicy on the panel today, some of that is from lack of sleep. One thing that would really help with that is if you help to support T3PO. That is the next step.
Absolutely.
And I can spell everything out for you if you really need me to. I won't. But if T3PO does well, it helps us to expand so that we can get a little bit more assistance with the channels. And there is a plan to bring everything woke back. It's not ready to be fully announced yet. But all I can say is please support support that Park Place in all its forms, and this is something we're pressing towards.
And you'll be happy to know that everything woke definitely will come back before our secretly planned pickleball channel. So
that will, by the way, be played entirely by squirrels, because we hear that's the hot
there
thing
you
right
go.
now. And folks, we have come to the end yet again of another video of pure, unfiltered excellence. And I say that because my guests today, wow, were they ever good. What did you think of it? Let us know. I would love to hear your thoughts on that very deep diving conversation. Like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, but most importantly today, drop a comment. We really want to know what you think about it. And folks, I also want to encourage you. We have a new channel. It's called That Park Place Podcasts Online. And yes, that's a mouthful. You can just call it T3PO if you'd like. Isn't that clever? Go check it out. It's in the video description. And we would love to have you watching content like the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and You. I saw the first episode, and it is terrific. I can't wait for you to watch. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.